Hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful day out there. This morning was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yep.
I was telling Pat earlier, though, that I got my church offering envelope out, and it said May 31st.
Where did it go?
Where is life going? I mean, what happened to my youth? I even said something about when I was 20, I thought life was forever, but I'm now learning that it's not, baby. Yeah, there's so we have another new moderator today. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to this one. And it is Ginny, right? I want to get the name correct this time. I don't know what happened last Sunday, but anyway, we got through it. Prayer concerns. Let's have our prayer concerns.
Well, I did talk to Leona. I saw her Thursday. Ed had his hand surgery Thursday. It was a 3-hour surgery, evidently, that he had tendons and nerves and everything else, and he was in a lot of pain when I saw her, I think that's 7. And so we need to remember them. I think Leona is getting worn out. I mean,
I can't imagine.
She couldn't hold her head up. Now, I know she'd been gone since before 11. The surgery was supposed to be, they had to be there at 11 and it's 7 o'clock. So that's a long day.
Yes.
And he came out of surgery and then he got sick. So they had to keep him a little bit longer and all that. You know how that goes. But this is just going to be an ongoing thing for a while. She said his leg wasn't looking real good, that they were a little concerned about it. So, you know, as we get older, as you were saying, things don't mend like they used to. And you used to get a straight knee and it would look pretty good in no time, but not anymore. So pray for Ed and Leona. They both need that, I know. Yeah. And John will be returning this Wednesday, so let's pray he gets back okay and that he hasn't broken an ankle or anything.
Really?
Enjoy the heat wave.
Yes, really.
Caretaking is tough.
It is, you know.
It's a tough job. And sometimes it's it is a very rewarding job, but it does get tiresome. You do get worn out. It could continue for a long time, and yes, you'll have and then she herself has her own issues.
Yeah, she does.
God bless her.
Yeah.
God bless both of them.
Pray for Candy and my brother. They're both deteriorating with cancer. So,
oh boy.
Please pray.
And your brother's name?
Mac?
Mac, yeah. You know, I want to say, I hear your requests each Sunday, and I minimize your request in a lot of ways, and I'm sorry for that, and I apologize. I think we all may do that to a certain extent, but I want you to know that this morning we hear your pain, and we feel it, and we're with you.
Thank you.
And we'll try to keep you in our prayers all week long. And try not to minimize it. I think that for all of us, we need to remember that. For Ed and Leona and for Martha also. And again, it's a very taxing.
Well, my brother's been fighting 2 different kinds of cancer for 6.5 years now. And he is deteriorating.
But we do pray for your stress.
And my
exhaustion.
My friend Candy can't walk anymore. She's almost bedridden now.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to try not to forget. Any other prayer concerns?
It's not a prayer concern, I guess. It's more kind of Thanksgiving. Karen emailed me Sunday after she got home, and she was so impressed with the reception she got here last week. She just felt at home, she said, and just enjoyed it so much. And she and John are good friends. I'm sure John will hear about that. But she wanted to thank me on your, so that I could thank you for all the kindness that you showed to her and hospitality. I think that's important to remember when we have guests, that we make them feel at home, whether they're in the pew or certainly in the pulpit.
Yes.
And Glenn will be here today, so be sure to speak with him and make him feel welcome.
Sorry, I missed her, but she used to come fairly often.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, she'll come back. We'll have her again. John's been gone, 3 weeks so far this year? So I've got 3 more. So I'll have Karen come back again.
And I also got an email from her. I had requested some information from her, and she sent that right to me.
Mhm.
But also, again, mentioned how much she enjoyed everybody.
And I
She
got
had
to,
a good sermon.
Huh?
She had a good sermon.
yes, she did. Yes, she did.
A little
I-
hard to hear sometimes, but.
I got to see Nancy Hill.
Oh, wow.
I happened to go down to the Historical Society. Ann Howell had asked me to bring to that a quilt piece that I had from my second great grandmother. And Nancy was there cataloging things for the weekend
Isn't
or
that
something.
great?
And she said, I said, will you get to come to church? No. So she's was in and out this time. So
She was just here a couple of days.
yeah. Well, she told me to tell everybody hi. So
Oh, wonderful. Any other prayer concerns or blessings? Let's approach God in prayer this time. Our Heavenly Father, we ask that your Spirit would be with each one of us today. Keep us safe, keep us healthy, keep us mindful of others. Help us to relate, be with them spiritually, and to do whatever we can for others. We want to thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for life itself. We thank you for this church, this opportunity to gather together. And we also ask for forgiveness of our prayers, of our deeds, our mistakes. And we ask these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. So, take it away.
Right. Okay, I am not a teacher, so I need help this morning, so y'all please feel free to talk. I'm going to do Proverbs 27. I like Proverbs because it's life lessons, I guess. And, if you're ever worried about how you're supposed to live, I think this kind of tells you through Proverbs. So, I'm going to go kind of verse by verse, and if you got any comments, please don't hesitate. So the first one says, don't boast about tomorrow, for you don't know what a day might bring. And one thing that happened this week that kind of brought that home is we had a young couple that did a revival a couple of years at the church I came from, and they've been missionaries. He's got a church, but then he goes to, Tanzania?
Tanzania.
And so he was scheduled to go to Africa, and the week before, which was this week, his wife had a stroke. She had blood clots. She wound up on a ventilator, and she passed away yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
And-
Is this the lady of the couple I met?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And he had a really good thing he put on Facebook. I mean, just showing his faith. I mean, through all this, he said, I lost the love of my life. But he gave God credit for everything. He said, I know it's going to be tough, but my faith is carrying me through, and God has been there for me. And he said if he had gone to Africa, then his kids would have been having to deal with this. So yes, that's who. That's
Oh,
who it
I
was.
am
A
shocked.
young couple.
I am shocked. Gary and Ginny invited me to go with them to an event over in
Stand ground.
Okay, and to a evening service, and had a great time. But met this young couple, and so I'm just shocked. And why did she die? I mean, what?
Just had a stroke to begin with, and then just
Caused by blood
stuff
clots.
started happening after that.
And a number of other things happened after the stroke.
But he, it was just encouraging just to see what he put on there, I wish my faith was as strong as his.
Yeah. Oh, he was a great young man. And,
So,
Yes.
just keep them in your prayers.
He was an interesting person. If you think John moves around the pulpit a lot, you should see this.
He comes down the
He's
aisles.
up down the aisles.
He comes
He's
down
all
the
over the
aisles
church.
and is eye to eye with you.
Yeah, he's really interesting to listen to.
So that just tells us, it's not anything that you can't prepare for tomorrow, but as we've seen, tomorrow is not promised for us. So, and Matthew 6:24 says, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow will worry about itself. And we don't know what the future holds, but God does. So, we have to rely on God, and that's exactly what he's doing this time. Verse 2 is kind of self-explanatory. Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. I really have a hard time. I don't accept compliments easy. I don't, because I don't feel like I'm worthy. And I sometimes really fail letting others know how much I appreciate things they do. So I think we need to really look at that, and let people know how much we think of them. And I think that's good to tell somebody else. Okay, I'm going to do 3 and 4 together. Sometimes this stuff I don't really understand, so it says, a stone is heavy and sand a burden, but aggravation from a fool outweighs them both. Fury is cruel and anger is a flood, but who can withstand jealousy? So I looked up some concordance, and it says the wrath of a fool when provoked doesn't care what he says and does, and is more grievous than a load of sand weighing on him. Don't give any reason, just get out of his way. Anyone who grieves at the good of another will still be trying to do him hurt and will keep his anger. So I think that's true. I think sometimes, you get a grudge against somebody and it does feel like a weight of sand and stuff on your body. And there's people out there that they still want to hurt you. They still want to cause you harm. They still want to wish bad things on you. So I think that's what this means here.
jealousy, I read somewhere where it's one of the worst sins and one of the worst things for you. It's detrimental to your body, to your health, and it's detrimental to your spirituality with God, because that is so ungodlike. God is forgiving. He's forgiven us, and yet we hold a grudge or we're jealous of somebody else. Oh my goodness.
I worked with a girl, and she had a grudge against me, and it was nothing I really did. A girl had brought her mother in to sit at our workplace for the day, and she sat her behind me because I was kind of blocked off, and so she had her mom sit behind me. This girl got mad at me because I wasn't entertaining this lady, and it got ugly. I mean, she would go past me and push me, and that third time I had to go to human resource, and I'm like, okay, this is it. It's not going to happen a third time. So And she still holds a grudge against me. I tried to make amends with her, but didn't want any part of it, so I'm like, okay, it is what it is, so. Okay, verse 5 and 6. Better an open reprimand than concealed love. The wounds of a friend are trustworthy, but the kisses of an enemy are excessive. So, you know, we need good friends that will hold us accountable for stuff. When I'm doing something wrong, I hope I've got friends that will tell me what I need to change. And we need to take the criticism or whatever, you know, as something to make us grow, not to make us mad, but, you know, something that we can change maybe the way we're doing things.
You know, constructive criticism can be good,
Right.
especially if you're good friends and all. And but if it continues on and on and on, that's a different story.
Yeah.
That's a different, even though you might be like this,
Yeah.
you just have to take a deep breath and move on.
Yep, that's true. You know,
This, most of this chapter, a lot of this chapter is about friendship. And parts of it talks about, you know, when you got problems, don't go to your brother far off, go to your closest friend. It's good to have close friends, I mean, and hopefully, you know, our spouse is the closest friend we have, and that's the person you go to. Something happened earlier this week, we were laughing about it, coming in today, that the lady that we play games with and stuff, you know, is good for me. I won't mention her name, because you would know it, but anyway, she goes, while we're playing this game, she goes and gets this piece of cake. Next time you turn around, she's got like 3 pieces of cake in front of her. She says, I'm having a sweet binge. Well, me and my big mouth, I started, because I knew she's diabetic. I explained to her what they told me about diabetes. High blood sugar is like stones in a glass house, you know. So when you're boosting up your blood sugar real high, then, you know, you're causing damage in your body. It may not immediately know what it is, but it does come out eventually. So I told her, and she took it with grace. We're good friends. And I noticed the next time I turned around, 3 pieces of cake went back to the But, you know, I was sincere trying to help her. I think she took it very well, and she thought about it. Yeah, I'm not doing the right thing here. But, you know, that's what friends do. You know, it's worse to sit, not say anything. That's not right. You should speak up to a friend if you see something. Later on, I think it talks about iron sharpening iron. It's the same thing, friends, you know, that whether you call it criticism or helpfulness or whatever, you know, you help each other. Okay, sorry.
Along with what you said too, you know, Judas's kiss was deceitful to Jesus, so, you know, we also have to be on guard, so, along with what you said.
And there's constructive criticism, and then there's insults.
Right.
And that's they're different, and you just have to distinguish between the two, even if it's your best friend, because that's happened to me before.
Yeah. I guess in short, just be truthful with your friend.
Right.
Just tell them the truth. But then we need to accept what they may say as truth also.
But even sometimes it's not, though.
Okay, maybe we need to reread this.
And holding back is wrong too,
Yeah.
to a friend.
Yeah, that's the same as
I mean,
mine.
that's worse than speaking up.
And there's a guy on Facebook. His name is Jefferson Fisher, and he's a professional responder, I guess. He says if this situation arises, this is how you can react to it and what you can say, and all of it is very. It's just good. Everything that he says is good. It's not negative, and that will solve your problem.
Yeah.
Okay, verse 7, 8. A person who is full tramples on the honeycomb, but to a hungry person, any bitter thing is sweet. A man wandering from his home is like a bird wandering from its nest. So, have you ever run across people, that, I know I had relatives that were not well off, that they were poor, I mean really poor, but they always seemed to be happy. I mean, they didn't let stuff bother them, and I mean, they just seemed like they were happy. They appreciated what they had. They didn't expect a lot more. And, it says sometimes, they do seem like they're happier. And Luke 1:53 says, He has satisfied the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. And sometimes I think people that have a lot take it for granted. I mean, you see movies and stuff where the rich have all this elaborate food and stuff on their table, and you gotta think, do they really appreciate it? I don't think so like the poor do. I mean, I think they appreciate any food they have on their table.
I think of it as simple people. Simple
Well,
people are the one I like.
yeah.
Simple people are normally the happiest.
Yeah.
And want for little. And yet the rich want to get richer. Or more, wants more.
And how many times have you heard, I have, someone say or read in a book, growing up we didn't have very much, but we never knew it. I mean, we didn't know it, and we didn't want for anything. We didn't realize we were dirt poor. We were fine. We just didn't.
TV's made a lot of difference in that, I think.
Yeah.
Too much on TV, too much advertising, especially for small children.
Yes.
And nowadays these games and all computer stuff.
AI's here to help you out too.
Yes.
That was sarcasm, sorry.
I'll tell you a question. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that okay?
He brought up AI. So I was at a doctor's appointment 2 days ago, I guess. It was my memory test. AI conducted it. AI was listening. AI did the summary, not the urologist. Neurologist. It was done by AI. Shocking.
Was it?
Just shocking.
Was it? How was it done? I mean, was it over a loud, a speaker or something?
He asked the questions, and I spoke into a microphone. The computer recorded all that stuff and spit out a summary in less than 3 minutes. He said, "I'll get up and go get your summary now." It came back,
Glad
7
you did something
pages.
for us, money.
7 pages. Yes. You have to wonder.
Did you have a choice whether you wanted to do it that way or do it
No,
by person?
had no idea that was the way it was going to be conducted. But he did tell me at the very beginning that AI would be doing the summary. Can you imagine? And he said that it was listening to my comment, and then it was even measuring the time of my slowness in answer or whatever the word. I don't know how accurate it is. So
My son-in-law
let's wait and see.
has been looking for a job for a while. He's a career kind of person, and it's hard to find anything right now. But he said the biggest problem now is that your resume is not viewed by a human being. AI goes through it and decides whether or not you have the requirements and passes it on then to the next level. So he said you don't even have a person who sees your resume. And I think it's kind of scary. Although I hate to criticize too much because NVIDIA is a big one that and we own 700 shares of NVIDIA stock, which is $150,000 of our money that we use to keep this building going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to, I guess, balance it out, but they're talking now about having some restrictions, and maybe what happens with us in the U.S. at least, we let things come in before we set up any kind of restriction, and then we try to pull it back. And it's like pouring water in something, you can't get it back out. So I hope that they come up with something that would work. But anyway, I know the AI wasn't part of this, but sorry.
That's all right.
David started.
It's part of our lives, whether it was in Proverbs or not.
That's true.
Yeah, it affects us, and that's part of life, so.
Yeah.
Okay, 9 and 10. Oil and incense bring joy to the heart, and the sweetness of a friend is better than self-counsel. Don't abandon your friend or your father's friend, and don't go to your brother's house in your time of calamity. Better a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. So that goes back to what Gary was saying. You know, if you've got relatives or whatever that live away from here, I mean, it's easier to go to a friend here that is close to you. And Solomon frequently disguises between brother and friend. So you got to be careful when you're choosing your friends that you want somebody that's trustworthy and true and that have a relationship with God. I think as long as they've got those traits, I think you're pretty safe kind of listening to them. Maybe taking counsel from them, not necessarily that you got to do everything they tell you to do, but maybe just, you know, consider what they're telling you.
I don't know, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but the commentary I read is, it is pride that makes us reserved. I mean, we don't think about that, but, you know, we don't go and ask a friend for some help or advice or just talk about problems. You know, maybe it's our pride that's keeping us back. We should really think about that. You know, is my pride interfering with my relationship, with my friendship with another? So I hadn't really thought about that too much till I read this commentary.
It does kind of bring up another thought, though, with, you know, church members. I remember, you know, back taking care of my mother, there were lots of times that I would have enjoyed a visit or could use somebody to stay with her while I went to whatever. But you don't ask. We don't ask, do we? We don't ask when we need help. As much as you would think we would. We should be close. We should be able to ask one another. But we do hesitate. I don't know if it's pride or not. It kind of sounds like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be too. I think, you know, my mom, she got to the point that, you know, she was older and she was not as able to get up and go as she did. And so people would, you know, say to her, I'll come and get you and take you to church.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I said, Mom, they don't offer it if they don't want to do it. You just need to say, okay.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, and that's,
It is.
I think that's
It is
pride.
hard.
I think that's pride that we don't want to accept somebody's help.
And maybe when we offer that help, we should mention it more than once, or
Right.
you know, really follow up with a phone call or something. But we even hesitate to do that too.
Yeah.
So both sides lose, I guess.
One thing that we moved out there and built patio homes, and one thing that just, to me, has been a blessing is we go over to the villas and have meals sometimes, and we met this lady over there. They warned us before you go. Now, they have their own tables, and you just gotta be careful when you sit over there because that's their table.
Chased them.
And so, first time we went over there, we saw this table kind of over in the corner and nobody ate. So we go over there and sit. Well, this little lady comes down and she's got her rollator and she just stands there by Gary's chair and she just stands there and just kind of looks. And Gary's like, would you like to sit down? And she said, well, this is my table. So she sat down and then she was telling us that the people that usually sit with her had left there or had died, one or the other.
Oh.
So she sat there by herself. So she was glad that we sat there. We got talking. Now every time we go over there, she's looking for us, and we go to her table and we sit with her. And it's been a blessing to me because I love her.
Beautiful.
She's interesting. Okay.
And she's funny. I mean, she'll come
She's
off
funny.
with some comments that just gotta laugh at her. But you know, she's got 2 sons that live in Florida, so she doesn't get to see them. One of them has cancer and has had cancer a couple of times, so you know, she shares stuff like that. She's got a sister that has been in the hospital for quite some time in Florida, so she doesn't see her. But she's got one son that comes on Sunday, takes her to church, and then eats with her afterwards. So, you know,
Yeah.
Gary the other day was over there picking up lunch, and somebody asked her, "Is that your son?" And she said, "No." So I think she's kind of adopted us in because she looks for us.
Okay, good.
I'd gone up there last night, and Gary was late getting up there, so I went on up there, and I'm sitting there looking for her, and then she turns around. She's at the table right beside me, sitting with Lee Russell, and she turned around. I knew I heard that voice, so then she turns around and starts talking to us. So we've seen Lee Russell out there, we've seen Mary Baxter out there, so it's been nice for us just to be able to go there and see people.
Yeah.
Okay, so verse 11, "Be wise, my son, and bring my heart joy, so that I can answer anyone who taunts me." So, you know, I've got grandkids that, yeah, it's hard seeing how some of them are growing up now. They have minds of their own, which is good, but then I think they need to just really be wise in the choices they make and things they do. And then it's saying, so I can answer anyone who taunts me. But, you know, there's people that will say, well, you didn't do a good job raising them, or you're doing this wrong, or you're doing that wrong. So I think we want to try to make our kids be wise and do right. So they can't blame the parents if they're not doing right. Okay, and then verse 12, "The sensible see danger and take cover. The foolish keep going and are punished." So I think we probably have seen this. Some people are a little more cautious about what they do. So you can kind of tell the ones that just go helter-skelter, you know, they just go do whatever they want to do. Okay, verse 13, "Take his garment, for he has put up security for a stranger. Get collateral if it is for foreigners." So this was a little confusing to me. So I found out that, like in the Old Testament, it said a debtor's outer garment was held as collateral. So I didn't realize that. And that comes from Deuteronomy 24:12-13. It says, "We must be aware when lending money to those who are frivolous with theirs." So I think we probably found that out. You know, I will help somebody that helps themselves, but if you see somebody that is asking you for money and yet you see them going out and squandering and doing, it's kind of hard to say, okay, I think I'll help you out.
Yeah, just real quick, I helped a young couple one time with some money, and I discovered later on that they had cable TV. I don't have cable TV, I just have the old antenna up on top. And I kind of resented it at first, and then I thought, you know, we all deserve a little perk or a little something or another. You know, if that's their little perk, then so be it. I think that's okay, you know? I don't know.
There's just some kind of saying, something about, borrower never, a lender.
A lender or a borrower never be.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
What is it again?
Borrower is slave to the lender.
Yeah. So you gotta let that sink in a little bit.
You do. Some of this is kind of difficult.
I mean, that's why I love Proverbs. I mean, I think it just, it's okay, if you want to lend money,
Yeah.
but, and I learned a long time ago, it's even worse if you lend money to family. But one thing I learned, if you're going to lend money, lend it with the idea that you're never going to get it back.
Right.
I mean, that's true, because if you dwell on it, then it's gonna make you angry, it's gonna make you hold grudges and stuff, and if you got the money and somebody needs it, and you lend it, just, you may as well say you're giving it as a gift. If you get a return
It's
back.
easier.
Yeah, if you
It's
get a
less
return
stress.
back, that's
Yeah.
even better.
And just
so,
ask them to pass it along if they're
Right.
able to pay it
Yeah,
back. But it generally does not come back to you.
no,
But just ask them to pass it along. And that bears on their heart for a while too.
and like
Try to
with
pass.
family, if you do it with family, then it could really cause hard feelings and stuff, and it's just better
Oh,
just to let it
It
go.
gets to be a mess.
Well, it's kind of, if you think back about it, raising children, I know with all of mine, at some point in time, I mean, I was helping them out financially, even in their early married lives and so forth. And a lot of that now is coming back. I mean, they're helping me out a lot. It's just, they'll step right up, whatever needs to be done. So, and of course, fortunately, they're all well off now, so even speaking about me paying them for something, well, they take it as an insult.
Okay, verse 14. If one blesses his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him. So I had to really think about this too. It's okay, but it says if you get up early in the morning and you're praising your neighbor, the first thing you need to be doing is praising God for giving you another day and giving him the praise first, and then it's okay, But sometimes we can overpraise someone too, and if we do that, sometimes we can build people up so much that it kind of makes other people with envy, I know I'd gone to a church one time, and this is probably on me, but I just felt like the pastor that was there, I felt like some of the people put him up on a pedestal. He was an awesome man, he was an awesome preacher, but I'm like, I know he's human just like we are, and I know there's things that he probably does too that, are just like us, but I feel like when people praise somebody to that level, I feel like they're doing him harm.
I think this speaks to judgment and timing also. Don't go over to your neighbor and start screaming in his bedroom door, good morning, use good judgment and good timing also. And wait till you see him in the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, verse 15 and 16. An endless dripping on a rainy day and a nagging wife are alike. The one who controls her controls the wind and grasps oil with his right hand. So I knew when I read that probably was going to bring up some comments. So let's hear the comments first.
Well, is that a true statement, husbands?
Well,
I reserve my right to remain silent.
One thing I did figure out, this is Solomon talking about his wife.
And he had a bunch of them.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, which
It's him
one?
talking about his
Oh, which
wife,
one?
No
so,
wonder.
He had
You
one
know.
place too.
Well, then
Like
that
Rip
must
and
be
Rain.
his experience.
exactly, and, you know, you kind of take it like this. He's living with her all the time, you know, it's not like a neighbor goes home, you know, but the nagging wife's still gonna be there. But that also could be a nagging husband.
Couldn't this also
What do
be
you mean
true
by
for
that?
the husband? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
can men not be quarrelsome?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I realize that that's not the point of view we get mostly in the
It
Bible.
was written by a man.
Women get a bad rap every now and then.
Sometimes,
You gotta put the
but
man in
I
there
mean,
too.
I do know nagging wives, I mean, they come by, we come by that honestly, I guess, we do nag, but, anyway, we won't go there.
But you probably you probably know women too that they do nag their husbands a lot. I've seen some that yeah, they don't give them much room to do anything, so.
Yeah.
But men are like that too.
This is true.
I
This
beg
is
your
true.
pardon.
Well, I don't know about you, but or anybody in this room, but that's just human nature. Some people do and some don't.
That's true.
But sometimes it's nice to just be single and have the whole house to yourself.
No,
You still can have a nagging brother or sister or roommate or
Oh,
something.
absolutely, absolutely, or a cat.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so verse 17, iron sharpens iron and one man sharpens another. So, we're supposed to be, I think I took this that we're supposed to be, you know, trying to make people wiser and better and not maybe put them down. I think we can lift them up, you know, and I think that's what that means. Okay, verse 18, whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and whoever looks after his master will be honored. So I think this encourages diligence. You know, when you plant something, you expect it to grow, but if you don't take care of it, you know, I think it was like a parable that was in the Bible that, you know, you can plant something, but if you don't water it and you don't keep the weeds out of it, you don't tend to it, then it's not going to do anything. So I think you have to be diligent, whatever, and I think that could go along with life too. You know, you plant a seed somewhere and you may not ever see the result of it, but I think you can plant that seed, and it goes back to kind of relationships. If you plant a seed and you continue a relationship so you can see something growing, you know? Okay, anybody else got any thoughts on that? Okay, verse 19. As the water reflects the face, so the heart reflects the person. So, you know, we can look at ourselves in the mirror, and what do we see in the mirror? We just see a reflection of ourselves. But what do other people see in us? Do they see what's in our heart and what is in our heart? Do they see, I don't know, you know, I know I've got a friend that I told her face gives all the expression because there would be things that would happen and she'd roll her eyes, and I'm like, you're rolling your eyes. She didn't realize she was doing that, but, you know, I think people look at you and I think people can tell, I mean, what kind of person you are and what your thoughts are and I don't know.
Kind of occurred to me, maybe other people can see who you are better than yourself.
I think so too.
You know, I think when we look in the mirror, we see.
What we want to see.
Yeah, what we want to see. You know, that we're smart and that we're this and we're that and giving and all whatever. And I guess that's human nature that we do that. You know, we both boost ourselves up. But yeah, maybe, well, I think it is probably more important what other people see than what you see in yourself. And of course, that's what God sees too, is He sees you as you really are, not what you think you are.
Yeah, 'cause it
You know, you
says
may
God
think you're a
sees
wonderful
them.
Christian, but,
Yeah.
you know, yet not, maybe.
Yeah, God sees the inside, not the outside.
Yeah, so it is something to think about.
It's, going back to friendship. As the mirror reflects their physical form, friends can reflect what's in your heart.
Yeah.
What they're telling you, advice they're giving you, what they're praising you for.
Yes.
Okay? That is a reflection of what we are.
And also, an example I can give is when I went to college for my first year, the advice that my mom gave to me was just be yourself and you'll have your group of friends that you'll all have things in common. Just be yourself.
I know a lot of times, people try to change themselves to be what they think somebody else wants them to be. Okay, verse 20, Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and people's eyes are never satisfied. So I looked up the word Sheol is the Hebrew term for the underworld, the realm of the dead, or the common grave of all humanity. It describes a place of darkness, silence, and shadows where departed spirits and after physical death, regardless of their moral choices in life. And then Abaddon primarily refers to a place of utter ruin or the realm of the dead. So that kind of made me think a little bit. And then it said people's eyes are never satisfied, which, sometimes we see stuff and it's just like, I think, sort of along the lines of the TV ads and stuff. I think the kids sometimes see all this stuff on TV and they want that. And maybe even the rich, they'll see something they want. Well, they get it, but doesn't make them any happier after they get it. I think you can have too much stuff. I've found that out. Moving, I've found out I don't need any of this stuff. As long as I got food, clothes on my back, and a place to live, I don't need anything else. And this is just stuff.
I've been collecting vacation brochures and all that kind of stuff. Well, I've got so many now, I'm overwhelmed by it. And I'm ready to just put all of them in the trash. I've actually thought of that this week. I've just thrown them all away because I don't even have time to look through them or too much.
I know when you look at it, you're like, how do I have all of this? I mean, does it bring you joy? Does it add to your life? Does it do anything for you? No. Okay, verse 21. Silver is tested in a crucible, gold in a smelter, and a man by the praise he receives. So, I know sometimes man is so bad that rough and severe methods used after gentle means have been tried in vain. So, I think we can try our best, but sometimes it just doesn't, it's in vain really. So they talk about how silver is tested and how gold is tested. So I think, like you say, the praise somebody receives, how they receive it, you know. Most people I know, you can't praise them because most people don't accept praise. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to accept when somebody praises you. I mean, I feel like most of us are humble people, and that it's hard to accept praise. It's good to give it, but it's hard to accept.
But it's okay to accept.
It's okay, but it's hard.
Such as you're doing a great job, but you have less than 10 minutes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Just FYI.
I was afraid I was going to be too short. Okay, verse 22. Though you grind a fool in a mortar with a pestle along with grain, you will not separate his foolishness from him. So that's kind of along the lines that I said, you know, if he's going to be foolish, he's going to be foolish. Okay, so then the last verse is, know well the condition of your flock and pay attention to your herds, for wealth is not forever, not even a crown lasts for all time. When hay is removed and new growth appears and the grain from the hills is gathered in, lambs will provide your clothing and goats the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food for your household, and nourishment for your servants. So I think this is just telling us that we don't have to worry about anything. God's going to provide whatever we need. We just need to take care of what we've got. Goes along with what I was saying, you know, when we plant something, you're going to get the rewards from it, just like if we serve God and we do what God wants us to do, we're going to reap the rewards. He's going to reward us. Like I said, you know, the lambs, if you got lambs out there, you know, that's where we get our clothing from. I mean, everything we've got, I think that God gives it to us. So, that's all I got.
One comment. We should have a responsibility not only to provide for ourselves, we need to, you know, as it said in the first verse, you know, we'll worry about tomorrow because you don't know what it is. It doesn't mean you can't plan for tomorrow. You should plan just to be responsible yourself, those who rely on you. And if you're own a company or fortunate enough to be running a company, you should be providing for their employees too. So it's our responsibility to provide for others that we're responsible for. Any comment?
Okay. You know, when you last week when you told us it was going to be Proverbs, yeah, I did read over it, of course. And I have a new appreciation for Proverbs. You know, Proverbs, normally I would just think of the fruit of the spirits. There's really some pretty good advice in here, you know, and spiritual advice too. If we really want to be closer to God, these are the things that we need to be aware of and to try to imitate, to apply to our lives. And so I just have a much more appreciation of Proverbs. Yeah. Any other comments about today's lesson, maybe?
I enjoyed it.
Martha says she enjoyed it. How about Mary?
She gets an A.
She got some
At least John did that sometimes.
There you go. Okay. Well, let's close in prayer then. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for today. We thank you for this time together. We thank you for Ginny and her message here. We thank you that you've given us these rules and regulations and ideas that we can apply to our lives so that we can be better Christians. We thank you for this. We ask that your Spirit would go with us now as we go into, and with Glenn as we go to hear his sermon and to get more knowledge and to grow closer to you and to love you even more. We ask these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.